Okay, I am here to do one thing and one thing only today, and that is to inspire some of you guys in the audience to become insane by the end of my talk. Now, I talk about being sane and insane in a little different way. Sane to me means simply being a safe and normal entrepreneur. That's what everybody is. Boring. What I think you should do instead is I think you should live on the edge. You want to think about innovation in a different way, because what I want you to do today is I want you to think about being an insane entrepreneur, which is ingeniously not safe and normal entrepreneur. Because that is where the juice is. That's where the life is. That's where the spark is. Those are the movers, the shakers. Those are the people that make things happen day in, day out. Now, what kind of people are insane? Who's some of the most insane people possible? Well, one of my favorites is a guy that started over 400 different companies, 400 different companies. And almost every company that he created, people thought, that's just crazy, that's stupid. Who would want to do that? Why are you doing that? And that happens to be Richard Branson. Now, almost everything he did in the first 10 years to get business was considered crazy and wild. He acted insane. He rode down the street almost naked on a horse. He jumped out of hot air balloons. He did wild scuba diving and skiing. He dressed up like a woman. Anything he could. Now, while all of his friends were laughing at him, he was the one making money, and they were going out of business. What kind of insane things did he do? Excuse me. He always believed ideas should be as big as possible, as big as possible. And he was one of the first ones in Project X to think, you know, maybe I can build a plane that will actually go into space and take the average citizen and go into space. Everyone thought he was crazy, but he was one of the first 2 to 3 companies to do that. I have 3 friends that have bought tickets to go into space, and they paid each $200,000 to do that. Is that insane? Absolutely. Who else is insane? Who else is insane? Well, imagine if you wanted to do a bunch of shoes online. You wanted to put shoes online, and you decided to give free shipping for all your shoes, and 85% of the people were women. Now, we all know that women can be slightly fussy with their shoes. Many women will put shoes on, and they will not like them, and they'll send them back. So yeah, already had a big, insane thing going on. He knew a lot of women would send shoes back, and he was going to give them free shipping to and from. Was it insane? Yes. Everyone said his model would not work. But it was so insane that Amazon bought it, and Tony Tsai at Zappos, how much did he make about a year ago? He made $880 million for that insane idea. Was that insane? Yes. This is one of my favorite insane companies, of course, Apple. This is the definition of insanity. The iPod, the iPhone, the iPad, all of these were kind of insane, crazy ideas. I remember that when for about the last 10 years, whenever I would hire a graphic artist, all of them would look in my office and go, Mike, why do you have just like Apple computers? Don't you know that I'm the only graphic artist? These guys don't need a Macintosh. Get them a cheap PC. But I loved Apple, and I bought everyone Macintoshes at my company, and we've lived on them. At one point in time, they said it'd only be 3% of the market. I was looking yesterday. Apple has already gained about 12.5% of the market. For 20 years, Steve Jobs was laughed at. He was thrown out of his company. He was crazy. He was insane. But that's what it takes. You got to live on the edge. And this, by the way, this is the killer, the app thing, by the way. This is, do not tell my wife I did that. This, of course, is the killer app. Apps are growing so fast, it's considered to be a $30 billion market in the next 3 years. If you don't have an app, you should take your name and build the Bill app, the Cindy app, the Mike app. You should be app crazy. This is a sane idea. A fortune cookie had remained the same for 97 years. 97 years. One flavor, one color, tasted the same recipe. Now, however, in 1988, I started looking at fortune cookies and I thought, why does it have to be the same way? Why does it have to look like that? Why does it have to taste like that? Why does it have to taste like rubber? I didn't like the taste of them. I got the same fortune 5 times in a row. I really did. And I decided to change it. I decided to do something insane. I decided to do this. Today we do over 30 flavors and colors in fortune cookies. Is that crazy? Absolutely. And more than that, every single person in America was literally a Chinese company. I was the first American to go like, yeah, I can do that. So everyone thought I was crazy. I had a TV show. I had a 2-year wait for tickets at the time. It was a kids' TV show. And I knew zero about manufacturing. Was that crazy? Yes. Was it insane? Yes. Continue to innovate. You got to continue to get crazy. Today we do a giant size. This is 9 times as large, 9 times more fun, 9 times luckier. We just started doing about a year and a half ago. Now we do 5 flavors of giants. So if you don't like normal vanilla, we do strawberry, blueberry, green mint. We do cappuccino, orange, lemon, whatever you want, we'll get you. We also do a big giant one, by the way. Cover it in milk chocolate and sprinkles. Chocolatey. So you got to think outside the box. You got to think crazy and wild. You got to think bigger. This was a crazy idea. Remember the first time you ever saw the little iPods everyone had? They were about that big, and everyone said, you know what? It can't get any better than that. Look at that. It's big. It's giant. And about 4 years later, they came out with these, which revolutionized everything, and they keep making them smaller. You got to keep thinking wild, big, small, and different. You want to be insane. How do you do it? How do you innovate? Well, I believe you want to mix up the models. You want to take unrelated items. You want to take unrelated items. You want to take what's different about a tire and a fortune cookie. What do they have in common? Nothing. But I've mixed up a couple of different marketing techniques that I learned from the tire industry into my fortune cookie company. I've used automotive techniques. You don't want to look at one market and think, you know what, nothing applies in this industry to my company. That's the problem. Everyone looks around at their competitors and they go, oh, all the ideas are done. No. You want to be the different guy. You want to gather extreme input. You know, with the advent of this and all the apps today, you can actually learn so much in 3 months. Or actually 3 weeks. It would take you 3 months to do. When I was working on my fortune cookie company, it took me 3 months just to figure out who made the fortune cookie machines. Nobody wanted to tell me because I was not Chinese. Literally, nobody would tell me. So I went to the library every day and I was reading everything possible. Now I could find it out in like 10 minutes. You want to gather extreme input. You always want to look at something and think of like, how does that apply? You want to make some new technology with old technology. You know, you want to go to the library, pick up some magazines, open them up, see, get knitting, get trapping, get needlepoint, anything, and just sit down and write out all kinds of things that's unrelated. You want to go outside. You know, I look at that as being an apple tree, but to me it's more than app tree, it's an app tree. And you got to mix old technology with new technology because it's a balancing. Everything is a balancing of new and old technology. And it's all in the way you look at it. You might think it's a tree. Well, to me, it represents something totally different. Last but not least, you know what? When you wake up in the morning, don't jump out of bed. Stay in bed. Stay in bed. Get a notebook and just stay in bed. The best ideas usually come from that dreamlike state. I've had like hundreds of ideas. Just laying in bed, going like, oh yeah, here's an idea. Just give yourself 10 minutes and write down those ideas in that little dreamlike state. And with that, I'd like to say, go forth and be insane. Thank you so much.